Well, hello again. Today is our fourth day Build a Brand Challenge for you to become an influencer. Um, Being an influencer doesn't mean you have to have a lot of followers. You can start with just a few hundreds and you on your way to become an influencer. You just have to keep going. I want to encourage you to keep going and, you know, just better yourself. Always better yourself. And eventually you will be an influencer. Oh, all of us, excuse me, all of us are basically influencer. We influence in some way, in one way or another. You have influenced someone. I am sure of that. You may not know it, but I am sure that one or two or more or many people, you have influenced them. They may not know it or you may not know it, but it's very clear. People influence people. And so if you feel like, oh no, I'm just a simple person. Yes, you are, but you have the ability, you have the capacity to influence others for being you. And I want to keep saying that because it is a mindset. If the first day of our challenge, we kind of mentioned about talk about mindset. You know, a lot of times we have this fixed mindset and the growth mindset, and there's all kinds of mindset that we have because our mind is very, very complicated. Not complicated in a way that you can't make it work. You can make it work. You just have to learn a few things to know how to do it, or some tips and tricks to help you navigate your mindset, your mind, discipline, things like that. Because the mind is unstoppable. And you, my friend, can be unstoppable too. So, when it comes to mindset, it's a good idea to know thyself. When you know yourself, then you tend to know when you respond, when you react in a certain situation, and learn from it. Learn from every decision you make to make yourself better, to become better today than yesterday. And also, now that you started looking at yourself, the way you think, the way your mind works, then you can go on and do and start building your brand. Because you have to believe in yourself before you take the step. Although I would say that sometimes even if you don't believe in yourself, but the passion is there, you have a very strong passion, one thing, only one thing that you are passionate about, you can still build your brand and become an influencer. When you're building your brand, then you can create influence, you can create impact, you can create income from building your brand, from your passion. So nothing is impossible. The only thing is to believe. Believe, and it will be. So we also talk about the brand, about what is a brand. We talk about that. And so think about the logo that you're thinking of creating for your business. the website that you want to build your brand, and maybe you want a business card that you can use to give to in person. You can also do that. So there's a few things that you can do to kind of present yourself, tell people about you, what you're starting, building your brand. Just know that building a brand is representing you. So you present yourself both online and offline. So think about that. The good news, as I mentioned in the past, that every person is now a brand. So you are a brand. You can communicate to your prospects or possible clients about your brand. What are you selling? What are you providing service? So this is something that you can think when you're building your brand's logo, your website, and all that. And so why do we need to build a personal brand? Well, let's have a recap. Building a personal brand is presenting you. What is it about you? When I say this, it means that every person who wants to start a business should create or should build their brand. The reason is every person is a brand. So it goes back to the idea that you as a person, you are a brand. So you build your brand, and your skills, your beliefs, your story will be your brand that you can share to others. And that will make you stand out. And so you can charge a price for that. Your expertise, let's say you have a passion of something that makes you an expert because it's a passion of yours. That helps you build your brand, create influence, create impact, create income. Your expertise will be your guide to build your brand. So use that. Ask yourself, what am I passionate about? And you will attract your ideal audience. Now that you're an expert, since it's your passion, then you're an expert in that. The people will see that and they will ask for your help. So hey, don't be embarrassed to share your passion. Don't be embarrassed to share what you're good at. You have to be visible. You have to increase your visibility and let people know, hey, I know this, I can help you. And that's how you create your content as well, with everything that you can share and create something out of that. The passion you have, share it. It will guide you, and it will also help you connect with other people who may be interested in that kind of skill, or even just want to learn about that skill. So you'll be the one, you're like the go-to person. And the more you build your content, the more it will build your influence, and the more individuals you attract, then it will also build your impact and income. This making you an influencer, because you have influenced others. You'll be famous. So now that we need to talk also, we also mentioned how to build a personal brand. Since we're talking about you, then it's your personal brand. So determining who you are, who you truly are, then that's your brand. That's your personal brand. How do you serve? How can you serve? How can you use your unique skills to serve others? And of course, you want to know what is your goal for this. If you have a goal, what do you like to accomplish? Your both personally, professionally, and to know who your target audience, who are these people who you want to serve, who can you help the most. And you have to have something like a product or a service that you can offer to those who need it. Now that you're thinking about, let's say you're thinking, oh, yeah, I'm a brand, so let me act like one. Act like a brand. What is your brand about? Share that. And you can even add everything in your website. Your website will tell people who you are. And so just constantly add value to your community. Post consistently. And build a community. Now, how do you do that? Well, we'll talk about social media. I am sure you heard about this. Build your social media. As you build your brand, you can start on the social media. There's so many social media platforms, and this is where they use the social media marketing. I'm sure you can name a few, and you are also in some of those platforms, I believe, because you're here. You already know about this social media marketing. Just knowing what to do helps you how to build your brand. So, social media marketing is the use of social media platforms. There's more than 100 platforms. This is where a lot of people go network behind a computer. You don't even have to be in front of these people. You socially network with people you may know, people you don't know, or people that are like-minded with you. You have the same passion, you can network with them. This is also the way social media marketing is the way to share information. If you know something, share it. If someone knows something, they share it and you learn it, or they learn from you. So it's really a beautiful place to make friends. Of course, just be careful too. There's also people who are, you still have to be careful. Excuse me. But social media marketing is really, really fun. This is where you build your brand. You can build a brand from social media marketing. There's so many ways to do social media marketing. And if you happen to be someone who already have a business, whether it's a brick and mortar business or an online business, then you need social media marketing. Use social media marketing because it drives website traffic. If you have a website, then social media marketing will drive traffic to your website. So learn about social media marketing. There's a lot of things you can do and a lot of things you can learn. And that's good for you because you become better today than yesterday. And social media marketing helps you build your brand, create influence, create impact, and even income. So get better on social media marketing because with social media marketing, this is where you generate leads and raise awareness, target the right audience. This basic idea of social media marketing is like a free way to find people because the platform is already there. The social media platform is already there. There's already a stage. You just have to get on there and talk about your brand, which will generate leads and raise awareness. And then the right people would come because they heard about you and they want your product. Then they will reach out to you, or you can also reach out to them. So it worked both ways. It's really nice to have social media marketing. So we talk about generating leads. How do you generate leads? So generating leads is like the process of getting people interested in your product or services and gradually moving them from visitors to become paying customers. However, today these techniques are no longer that successful. It still worked. Of course, everything works. It just takes a little more time because it is like having an ad to everyone. And the question is how many people can see your product, your services. If you have a good number of following, this would be easy for you. Now, if you have a little bit of following, the chances are it will be harder. But if you have the right people following you, then it won't be hard. So modern lead generation is more likely to consist of like one-on-one targeting. These are when you see someone post something that is kind of related to what you offer, then you can reach out to them. Or if they see you post something that is of interest to them, then they will get or connect with you or reach out to you. So it's like that. Oh, and the other way of doing lead generation is the focus on educating the customer. When I say this, you educate them. Let's say you're, like, for example, I do social media. So I educate my target audience about social media, how they benefit from it, how they do it. I educate them. So like you, if you want to generate leads, this is one way of generating leads by educating your target audience. And when you do that, as you do that, educate your target audience, it also cultivates meaningful relationships because then you have interaction, right? You talk to them, they talk to you, and then, hey, and how can I help? Oh, I need help with this. And so there is engagement, there is relationship. And that's good. whether they buy from you or not at this time, it's okay. You can cultivate it. You can develop that. Over time, they'll say, oh, this person's really not pushing. So I think I'm going to try his or her products or services. So that's good. It may take time, but it's better than nothing, right? So the other one is brand awareness, building brand awareness on social media. So these are ways to build brand awareness on social media. Know your target audience. Who are the people you want to help? So you will be able to help them if you know who you are targeting. So targeting is like maybe you only target women. You only want to help women. So, okay, that's good. Then you want to target, your target audience is women. And do your research. Always do your research. So you have a brand and you want the social media to be aware of your brand. You have to know that there's also many others who are building brand awareness on social media. So do some research and learn from them. You have your own idea, you learn from them, then over time you can create something that is like 100% yours, and that's your brand. You know, that becomes your brand. So do your research. A lot of people don't do this. And it's hard when you're not doing this because you're like going in circles. You don't know where you're going because you don't have enough information to build your own brand. So it's a good idea to do your research. And then creating engaging content. Engaging content means you create content that your readers or your audience will react or engage. They will respond in any way. At least they respond. If nobody's responding, then it can be telling you that they don't like that content. So pay attention. Make sure to create engaging content. And sometimes you may use influencers that are already been there, those who are ahead of you, that already made their way. You can use them. There's many different ways to use them. You know, if they want, hey, I have this, you know, you give them something maybe, and then they shout out for you. That is one way of using influencers, not in a negative way, but just to help out you. At the same time, you give something to them too. So that's a win-win, right? And also you have to interact with your followers. Your followers may react to your content, engage with your content. So you want to interact with them. You want to let them know that, hey, I saw your content, you know, thank you. Or, you know, you can respond to their content. And that's something a lot of followers would love to see. You know, there's a girl who responded, like react to one post, and then she got a response back, and she was so excited. Oh my goodness, he responded. This influencer responded. So it's something, you know, a lot of followers would love that. So try to interact with your followers. Pay attention and respond to feedback. If someone, posts a feedback, hey, I would like to see this because of that, then pay attention, thank them for giving feedback, because that's how you learn. A feedback will help you become better. They tell you what they want, and you see, okay, then I can tweak a little bit and make some changes to make it acceptable to the followers, especially when there's a few feedback and they're the same, then you make sure you make some changes on that. And another thing is for you to build your brand awareness on social media. If you are in several social media platforms, then you want to use separate content, different content. It's the same content, but you want to make some changes, tweak it a little bit to make it different. That way it's not like, oh, wow, this is the same thing, you tweak it a little bit to make it fresh. And that really helps. That means you're working really hard to make them smile. And also to optimize your social media profile. We'll talk about that later, about optimizing your social media profiles is one way of building brand awareness. And so these are a few things that can help you build your brand awareness on social media. You don't have to do all of it together, but you can do one at a time. And, over time, you'll get better at building your brand awareness. I'm sure of that. So, social media target audience is a group of people that you've identified that you want for your business. Yeah, it's not a bad idea to know what you want, because that way you are focused on a certain group of audience. This can also save you time, and you can focus only for them, your target audience. And this can be based on demographics such as age, job title, income level, education, location, behavior. So you can create this target audience of yours using age, job title. If you want to serve only 40 to 50 years old, then that would be your age bracket. And if you want a woman whose income level is maybe 200,000 a year annual income, then yeah, you can create this as your target audience. And think of the people who are most likely to be interested in your product, because you know better what is your product, and you kind of have an idea who would need the product. So you can create this target audience, like a persona of someone who would need your product, someone who you can serve. So let's say create buyer personas. Yeah. So using the age, job title, income level, education, all that, you can create a buyer persona, which will help you communicate better because you have this one person that you are trying to reach. And find out where your target audience hangs out. Where do they hang out? You want to know where. That way it's easier for you to talk about your business, talk about your brand. And number 3 is use hashtags. Hashtags is very important because it kind of guide the content that you're trying to put out there. with the hashtags, they're all in one place. Some people do say that not used so much. And some people do get kind of, don't like the idea of having so much hashtags. So, you can see if people in your group, in your audience, you can see that. So pay attention when you have like a few hashtags, if people respond, engage, or if you have a lot of hashtags, people engage. So many people engage, you can look at that, and that will help or guide you the number of hashtags you're going to use and what hashtags you're going to use. So this is exciting. Create content to get them excited. Oh yeah, who wouldn't want the content that gets you excited, right? So think of content that would get them excited, and you don't have to do this every day, but once in a while, drop some exciting content. Like maybe one would be like giveaways, people like that, giveaways. And the other thing that you want to, when targeting audience, that can help you is to see what your competition is doing. What are they doing? You can do it too, but of course, not the same way they do. You have to create your own. But that would give you an idea. Whatever they're doing can give you an idea that, hey, I can do somewhat like this, and just do it and test it. And the next thing is this, we can talk about. This is a little bit different from here because it's Facebook ads is where you need to spend money. So all these other things is, you can do this without really spending a dime. But with Facebook ads, you may have to spend some money. And I know for those who are starting, this is a very hard decision to make because you haven't even earned anything. So you kind of don't want to spend money that you haven't even earned. The truth is, some have good experience with Facebook ads and some don't. So that is really up to you to decide whether you want to do Facebook ads to build your brand. Now, when talking about this social media platform, here are a few social media platforms that are quite popular, and I know you're in one of this for sure. That's why you're here. And you may be in most of this. I mean, just for me, I have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok, WhatsApp, but I'm not in all of this. You know what I mean? Like I created an account because, hey, I want to try this, but then you have to find out where your target audience is hanging out. So basically, you have to decide where are you going to spend the most of your time. Because if you want to spend time in all of this, and they can be addicting. So you want to make it better, easier for you. I mean, easier for you to build your brand by not becoming overwhelmed. So you can just pick one, or maybe the most would be 3 to be consistently building your brand in there. Facebook is very popular. Instagram is very popular. Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube is popular too. I mean, these are actually just a few of the most popular social media platforms. There's hundreds of social media platforms. So you gotta pick one or two or three and worked hard there. That way you don't get overwhelmed. So with the social media, I'm giving you an idea of the social media platforms, how big they are. I only have four here that are like the biggest, from the top. And I'd say Facebook is the largest social media site. It has more than 2 billion people using every month. So that's like a 30% plus of the world's population. Can you imagine that 30%? Just 30% of the population are Facebook users. That's a lot. And the businesses, there's 200 million businesses on Facebook. Advertisers, 7 million plus advertisers. So if you look at it, 200 million businesses and 7 million advertisers, that's like small. Just think about how good the advertising is on Facebook. If it's good, if advertising on Facebook can multiply your ads to income 3 times, that would be something to look at, right? So just think about that. And next is the YouTube. YouTube is like the second largest social media site. Everybody knows YouTube. Facebook, everybody knows Facebook. Everybody knows YouTube. And it has also 2 billion plus users every month. Ask what you need. Like you have a question, go to YouTube. It will give you the answer. In fact, there was a YouTube video that was about how to screw a wall. That's very simple. And it has millions of viewers. Can you imagine that? So if you don't have a YouTube yet, I would encourage you to start one. Start one and create your content. Build your brand from there. The next one is WhatsApp. WhatsApp is not really like popular from everyone, but tell you what, it's actually has 2 billion plus users, just like Facebook and YouTube. So basically, WhatsApp is the third largest social media site. And they used to be just text messages to family and friends where, well, Facebook started like that too, like, oh, connecting. And now it's turned into not only with family and friends, it's now turned into business communication, now has 2 billion users. That's a lot. So the next one would be the popular Instagram. It's a visual platform, and this is where you find all those beautiful photos, place for showcasing your products or services with photos or videos, and it has 1.4 plus billion users. So below 2 billion, but it's catching up with Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp. So on Instagram, you can share a wide range of content. They popularized this Reels recently, and it's just crazy. I know there's TikTok coming. there's Snapchat, all this, they have their own brand. They create their own brand. But you know what? Facebook owns WhatsApp and Facebook owns Instagram. So if you really think about it, Facebook would be the largest because it has more than just one. YouTube, it has Google. And well, YouTube. So they're like close to each other, competing really good. So now let's talk about profile optimization. How do you optimize your profile? So every social media platform you're in, make sure to optimize your profile. Tell them who you are, what you do, and who do you want to connect. These are a few things that you make sure you have it on your profile. So it will be optimized. Where can they find you? How do they get hold of you? Things like that. So like photos, it has to be branded. Background images has to be branded. And if you have other social media profiles, you can link to other social media profiles and link to your main website to drive traffic to your website. And the last thing is these are only a few, there's more, but here, uniformity, you want to be uniform. You want to, everywhere you are in any platform, you want it to be uniform. You want to have the same concept of who you are, because that way people recognize you with just one look, because they're all uniform. So that's how you optimize your profile. You can start doing it immediately. That way you would look like professional. So posting, let's talk about posting. Posting, how do you post? What do you post? When do you post? Things like that. You can ask that. It is up to you. It should be based on your time. You can start slowly and you can start crazy. That's up to you. So when you're posting, you want to know, or you want to make a decision how many times you want to post in each platform, social media platform. So here are some suggestions that based on up-to-date research on how often to post on each social media platform for maximum visibility. So for Facebook pages, 1 or 2 per day. Twitter, 3 to 10 times per day. Instagram, 1 to 3 times per day. Now, if you have 3 social media platform, that you can still do that. You just have to schedule it. There's a lot of calendar apps that you can use. In fact, Facebook has one, and I will be sharing that on the day 5 for the challenge, Build Your Brand Challenge. The way you know what or where or what app to use that can help you get organized, schedule it, and that way it doesn't overwhelm you. Because once you're overwhelmed, you will quit. And I don't want you to quit. You need to continue, go on, keep grinding. So the next thing we're gonna be mentioning is to make sure you engage your audience. It is important that you are able to engage your audience. It doesn't have to be, a lot of people. Even if your group is only 10, 20, you get one engagement. That's like 10% of what you have. So a lot of times we kind of think that, oh, I only have one person who engaged. Yeah, but if you have only 10 people, then you get 10%. And even like for I have a group of 10,000 followers, and the engagement sometimes is 100, sometimes is more, sometimes it's less. So it's really, you have to pay attention to this so you know what is a good engagement for this group. So there's some examples here for engaging social posts to drive audience interactions. Just like imagine going on a date with someone who only talks about themselves. So you just want to make them feel that they're in that moment. So one way is using emojis creatively. Emojis are fun. And a lot of people like to see emojis. Some people go crazy with emojis. Maybe not crazy, but you need to be creative when using emojis. Asking questions. When you ask questions, the people relate your questions and they know the answer. They kind of feel they know the answer. They will answer that because they want to. People like to be asked. Make a list. This is something that you make a list and share it. Oh, they love that. People love to see lists and they get excited seeing, oh yeah, I don't have that. I have this, things like that. Other ways is to give aways, a contest, perhaps a contest to engage them. Yeah, it doesn't have to be something expensive. In fact, you can do a giveaway like a time with you, like a half hour coaching or a half hour tutorial for something. You can do that. That way they get, oh yeah, I want that. I mean, it's free. Why not? Next is to instill a sense of urgency. So this is something that when I was new, I was like, wow, I want this, but it's only till this. So in your mind, you have to make a decision right away, right? That way you can get it. And people like that, likes to be urgent. Oh, I want to do it now. I want to do it now. So put in there a sense of urgency. Oh, it's going to be only for today. And people like that. Another one is to emphasize benefits. What benefits, when I say benefits, is what's in it for them. So when you post something that they can get something out of it, or they will engage in that because they benefit from it. That's very a sure way of engaging your audience. Give the benefits of what they get when they respond. Like even is a very simple content or post. Say yes if you're happy today. The moment they say yes, they feel happy. So that benefit them actually. It doesn't mean any much, but it does to them. So just a few little things that you can use to, drive audience interactions, and that will definitely help you build your brand, because then people will remember you. Oh yeah, she did this, she did that. Oh, she had a contest and who won or I won, things like that. So now let's talk about advertising. Advertising, we have the organic, we call it free, or the paid one, which is the ads, paid ads. And there's different kinds of paid ads as well. So you have to think ahead of time whether you want to use a paid advertising or the organic advertising. Now, if you're starting, yeah, I would just advise to use the organic advertising. And then you kind of feel, what works best for you. You can actually start doing some paid advertising in a small increments, which is fine. And, get try it and see how it works for you. Because when you go for the paid advertising, you have to have an ad budget, because, like it or not, organic reach is harder and harder to achieve. Of course, there's just so many people, and everyone wants free. So the advertising helps you be more focused to reach out to those you really need to reach. The ad, it does help awareness to build your brand and increase your reach and generation. It does help send traffic to your website, increase engagement. In fact, it encourages app installs or video views. And so you get new leads with an ad budget. Conversion, increase purchases or leads via your site or app. Or, conversion, this is how much increase in your purchases or even leads. With ad budget, this can happen. All this happens easier for you, and you don't, stress about that. You just have to pay the money. And you can start small, less than 100 or $5 a day. You can do that. Now, the most important thing also is to have a measure all your content. This is one way of knowing whether what works and what doesn't for your brand. Then you can change it. When you know what works, then use that. Now, if it doesn't work, then you gotta discard, or you gotta tweak it a little bit and see if it works that way. Sometimes it just needs a little bit of tweaking, and it still works. So what or how do you measure? as I mentioned, measure your social activities so that you can learn what's successful, what isn't, and how you can improve. So how do you know if your social media activities are effective? Then for this, you will need to look at the number of new leads, the number of engagement. There's a few things that you want to look at. Take a look at the number of active monthly users. There was one group that has 10,000 um, followers, but the active monthly users was less than 1,000. So really, it does. But you don't worry about that. You don't really need all of them to be active. But of course, why not if you have that? But if you don't, it's okay. You only need those people who will be active, like maybe 500, 600 of them, or 1,000 of them. That's good enough. Even 100 is good because they're really the people who are interested in your product. And there's also the analytics that you can use from, like Facebook. That's one that will tell you if you uh, look at your Facebook group or page, it will give you that analytics that measures everything. And so you can check that every now and then and see what changes and what if it went up or it went down. That will really help you with your brand. So anyway, this is what we have for today. And if you're ready to create your influence hands-on, just go to createyourinfluence.com/CYIM and get started. It will be a step-by-step guide for you from creating your account, and you will get some resources, tools that you can use to start building your brand, creating your influence, impact, and income. We'll see you for tomorrow, and we will have more. Tomorrow we'll have more tools, resources for you to use so that you can get started. See you. Bye for now.